debrief or anything?
Oh, stop that.
Just talk about how important
It's a hard sell.
the water.
Yeah.
Water's a hard sell for a lot of my patients.
Yeah. So and maybe
Well,
even
flavored water.
Yeah,
even
flavored
if
water.
they need it. But also just enforce that some of the foods that she's probably eating does contribute to, again, not being able to sleep, but also lack of energy when you're just eating potato chips and
those processed foods.
yeah, processed foods. You're not going to have a lot of energy.
Absolutely. If from the exercise standpoint, if we could get her into exercising, I don't know if maybe we could. I don't know if we had access to like a facility or something like that. That'd be ideal. If we were partnered with that, we could just kind of take her over and then maybe go over some things with that. By all means, she's probably not going to just jump the gun and join a facility because she's not going to pay the money to do so. But and then there's guidelines involved for that, but I don't see her starting out meeting guidelines for that. We talk about meeting 100 so many minutes a week. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. I just do more things to be active and then build up upon that, if that makes sense to everybody.
And emphasize too, she wants to lose weight. She talks about how she eats when she's bored. Exercise is something, that it's a fun activity that's going to keep you busy, keep your mind off of other things. So that would, again, not only does it help you lose weight by just working out, but also, she mentioned she has nothing else to do. So, get out,
Gives her
take a
something
walk,
to do.
stay active. But there are plenty of things to suggest just to, stay busy.
And we didn't ask for anything, but we could even just suggest like kids or a dog. If she had a toddler or an infant, take the kid on a walk or take the dog on a walk. Something small, little things like that, just to kind of get her more into that. And probably seeing a little sunshine probably wouldn't hurt anything either with that.
She'd probably sleep a little bit better too.
Yeah.
Get a little vitamin D, maybe she'd feel a little bit better also.
Yeah.
A little better eating habits, maybe her vitamin B level could potentially be better.
And then from a pharmacy standpoint, Rebecca brought up too, she said she hasn't been to a doctor in a year. She's frustrated with all the medications she's on. She probably needs to be on something for her back, but if she goes back to the doctor, he might realize, oh, her hypertension's better. She doesn't need to be on this, and he can kind of would be able to thin out the medication list and put her on meds that were, again, more optimal for her situation, so that she wouldn't be frustrated about the burden of it. But it's obvious that she probably needs something for her back, even if it's just him saying take a leave or Tylenol instead of a leave and use a heating pad, just something to let her know that it's being treated if she's just frustrated with the leave not working. So
Menthol massage, maybe some salon pause patches, something like that would be great. I was trying to get into the sleep hygiene thing with the no TV when you go to bed. I was trying to get into routine also, and I try not to take up too much time because normally I spend at least half an hour with the new patient. But anyway, I don't know if that was. They didn't seem horribly receptive to that idea right in a second. So planting the seeds is always a good idea. Was there anything else that we didn't really talk about that y'all wanted to ask? We talked about surgeries, but we didn't really go into that anymore. She never had any others.
I guess it'd been better to start the conversation with like a history-based questionnaire. Honestly, if we had the full time, we'd probably give out a questionnaire or something along that lines. But maybe we should have started more with that being the first part to see medications and history and possibly.
I think what I wish we would have done at the end, which again, it was kind of hard because Rebecca, I didn't know if you knew how much time we had left, and so,
no idea.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of tough, but I wish that we could have, and in the future, like wrap it up more efficiently to get her to say, so we've talked about this, and so is it okay if so would you say that these are your goals, so that cause I felt like we kinda left her, okay, we kinda
We
talked, now
kinda
bye.
did just leave
You know,
her, yeah. 'cause
So
we were in that
I would
time
have loved to
frame.
be, like, and again, it's hard,
Yeah.
but I would have liked to have said, so this is what we got out
Like
of
have a
this.
closing conclusion or
Do
something.
you think
with
that
it.
these are okay goals, so this is what we're gonna do, so that we have a plan, cause I felt like we didn't really get there yet, and I think we would have, I just think that
I
it's-
totally agree.
Yeah,
Totally agree.
Yeah, I think that's something really important, you know, that you learn tonight, that
Mhm.
you'll be able to apply next week,
yeah,
you know, in
So it's
terms
good
of
this is
just-
a practice too, to
right.
get that.
So do you want Chad to unmute himself now so he can participate the rest of the time after they've done their plan?
I think, you know, they've kind of talked about the patient, her issues, kind of what the plan might be, you know, at least the different aspects of it. I think we can probably bring in our observers and get some input from them, yeah.
Hi. Who did you want to speak first?
Go for it.
Okay. I noticed a turn in her demeanor when, oh gosh, I'm terrible with names. Michael,
Yeah.
when you were talking with her about exercising and getting a program together, and she asked you, are you going to exercise with me? She may be one of those people that needs an exercise buddy, or she may need someone that
Like a personal trainer.
can support her in that. I just noticed a turn in her demeanor when she said that. Otherwise, she was just kind of sitting there in the beginning, you know, with her arms folded, you know, kind of indicating that she was closed off, like, yeah, what else are we going to talk about? You know, what am I going to have to do now? You know, just kind of closed off to the conversation at first. And the shaking of the foot, I was like, well, you know, is that anxiety, or is it just, you know, I'm not really into what you're saying and not really buying into, you know, this whole process at that point. She seemed really disinterested, very flat, bored, and kind of pessimistic and severely lacking the motivation, and apathetic in the beginning. And it's like, you know, she has a desire to lose, well, she wants to lose the weight, but I saw a terrible lack of motivation to really open up and be open to those things. But I saw that kind of turn when she asked, you know, were you going to work out with her? And maybe that's just me, but I just noticed that. Let's see, I thought, I think the person who talked the most to the patient, it's kind of running a close second between Michael and Rebecca. But Michael, you might have won by just a hair, you know, with going, because you talked a little bit about, you know, some dietary stuff as well. And I've already mentioned the nonverbal behaviors. Rebecca, I thought you did a great job, you know, the sleep habit stuff. I loved, you know, what you're saying about TV and everything, and the flashing lights, you know, stimulating her to stay awake. I thought you did a great job with that. As far as the dietary changes, they are a little bit hard to digest in the beginning, for just about any patient. But, you know, I think giving that to someone in small increments, and when she starts seeing some of the fruits of her labor, if we can just get her going, would be a good thing. And I think addressing her sleep habits and giving her some rest, and possibly addressing that pain issue that she's got, so she can get proper rest, you know, could possibly impact her mood in a positive way. I like the 24-hour dietary recall that you kind of asked her for. I think the thing that stood out to me the most with the conversation with Rebecca was that Rebecca was able to educate her in a very non-judgmental way. She was, you know, just would kind of ask her a question, she would answer. We all knew that, you know, the food she was eating was not optimal, but, you know, Rebecca was very non-judgmental, just saying, oh, by the way, you know, this may help you a little bit with that, and you may find this beneficial, and, you know, they're talking about the vitamins and everything. I just thought it was really a good interaction there, and I'll just say this, I don't like to talk about my dietary habits either, and my doctor goes there every time we have a visit, but I would absolutely love to talk to Rebecca. I felt like she was just very non-threatening and, you know, almost like a friend, you know, I felt like there was a good rapport